Hi y'all, I'm back. I'm going to do the pre-wet system for the Western Striker snow salt spreader. I'm going to show you how I do a DIY salt spreader brine pre-wet install on this. This is a 1.5 yard spreader. I apologize for the noise. I've got the shop heater running. It's only like 30 degrees outside and I'd like to be warm. So I'm going to be mounting my pump inside of this box. Altex, A-L-T-E-L-I-X box. I believe I got this on Amazon. It was supposed to be for a different use, but it ends up it's going to have my pump in it so it stays out of the elements. I hope it'll fit. I've already got a pump that I use for the other side of my business that I'm going to try to reuse this winter. The pump should work fine. It's 1 gallon a minute higher than what Western sells for their pre-wet kits, so I'll have to tone it down just a touch. Yeah, it should be kind of a fun build. If you want to know how you do the wiring side of this build, check back the other video, how to wire accessories for the Western Plow or Western Salt Spreader, because I'll show you in that video how you do your relays to get power to your pump. The safe way. Don't try wiring directly unless you want to wire a toggle switch into your truck and not use the pre-wet button on the salt spreader controller. But I'm doing everything the way this was designed. I'm just doing it a little bit cheaper of a way, quite a bit cheaper, but not to knock Western products. Western makes awesome products. That's all I buy. But for me, I like to do it myself. I know a lot of you guys do too. So to make this video, follow along, make sure you like and subscribe, that way we can get some more followers and maybe do some giveaways down the road. Let's get to it. Alright guys, the first thing I'm doing with this spreader control box here, I'm drilling 3 holes to put my Altex box right about there. It's going to be permanently mounted, bolted onto the side of this rib here. I started trying to drill these 3 holes with regular drill bits, like heavy duty, high speed bits. And I was able to get a 1/16 of an inch drill bit through the metal. That was it. This stuff is tough. I really haven't worked with stainless steel that much. So I went on Amazon and I ordered step bits. This is a awesome bit. I got a 3-pack. This is the biggest one. It'll mow right through it. The first 2 steps go a little bit slower. Once you get onto the 3rd or bigger, and once you get up into here, you better be hanging onto the drill because that thing will twist your arm off. Really good step bits. They're on Amazon. I'll try to get a link in the description to the ones that I purchased, but pretty happy with them so far. I've got these first 2 drilled out. I'm going to go ahead and do the next size up. My bolt fits through. It does. And now I'm going to hold the box up here, use a Sharpie, mark on the box where I need to mark the holes, drill those, get those bolted up. Once I have the box bolted to the frame, I'll check back. Alright guys, I have my box mounted here. This thing is on there. I've got 3, I believe they're 3/8 bolts. With this fiberglass box from Amazon, you want to use some big washers on the inside. That way it disperses the energy from the bolt being pulled and you don't crack your box. I've got those torqued down pretty hard. I went ahead and drilled the hole in the bottom of the box, ran my wire from my module. They've got these little pockets here. I went ahead and ran it through there. I've got some wire guide clips that are like U-clips to hold stuff on. I got to get some bolts for those, but I've got them. I'm gonna get this, crimped onto here to where it doesn't move. It's out of the way. I'm not gonna poke it with a forklift. So box is on, and now I need to get the pump mounted in. So stay tuned, get the pump mounted in, then I'm gonna go ahead and mount my 35 gallon. Here we are. I have the 35-gallon tank mounted. This is going to be just for my pre-wet brine. I have enough room in front of the truck, between the truck and the cab. I'm hoping to mount 2 square 65-gallon tanks. But there's an 8-week lead time on them, and I didn't know I was going to be getting this truck. Just kind of a last-minute decision. So for right now, I had this tank. It's 35 gallons. I used it for the other side of my business, but that is out of season right now. So the bottom is bunged off because usually if you suck out of here, you'll end up pulling more garbage. What I have is the top feed on my tank. I recommend doing that with whatever you're doing with the tank. Pull out of the top, and what it is as a drop tube that goes down, you know, pretty close to the bottom. So I find that I pull less garbage when I run that system. So the tank is mounted, strapped, bolted. Let's see. The box is mounted. It's super secure. I mean, it's not going anywhere. I have the hose, which is 1/2-inch ID hose, running out and back around, and on the inside of the box, it comes through the bottom. The power wire comes through the back, and that's where I'm going to call it a night. I'll take the family to dinner and relax a little bit. I did just have surgery 2 weeks ago, and so I'm a little bit slower than normal. But tomorrow, I want to get the pump mounted in this. I'm going to get it primed up, make sure it works with the truck system. Hey guys, I'm back. It's day 2 of the brine sprayer pre-wet kit build. I went ahead and went to the store, farm store, and picked up a Remco 4 gallon a minute, 45 PSI bar, 3.1 bar pump. My ag pump that I had on my other deal wasn't priming very well, so I went ahead and picked this up. So my box is mounted, the first tubes ran. A little hack for you, to line up the bolts, I took a little bit of grease and I put on the bottom of those feet, and then I stuck it in there how it's going to mount, and it left 4 points for me to drill the hole to get the bolts through. So I'm going to get this bolted in. First I'm going to go ahead and plumb in my barbs that come out of here. Then I'm going to go ahead and get my hoses connected, and I'll check back with you. Alrighty guys, so I have my pump mounted in the box. It's all ready to go. It's wired in, plumbed in. The line comes out of my bulkhead fitting around. I had to switch it to where this one came in on the right side because the flow of the pump is that way. And then this is my output line, running back, runs through the frame of the salt spreader. I've got some tie backs that are gonna clamp it to the base so it stays out of the way. But this pump, you can see the serial number there. The fittings on it are 1/2-inch NPT, and the barbs that I used are 1/2-inch to 1/2-inch male NPT to hose barb. Obviously this is 1/2-inch ID braided line. Those are 90-degree elbows. Fit in there nice, makes this box nice and clean. It looks very similar to the Western Products box. There's just stainless steel, but this one I think is actually a little bit more weatherproof and probably insulates a little bit better being fiberglass. So that's all done. I can close this up, move on to the next step. Okay, back to check-in. So I went ahead and set the unit in the bed of the truck, and you may be wondering what this red line is. So this is a air hose, retractable, auto retracting, and I've got it all plumbed in. I have yet to plumb the pre-wet tube into the chute, but this is my new hose reel. And what's convenient is there's a shutoff. I can just kill the valve, or open it in that case. When I close the valve, it'll send all the pressure to my hose reel, so I can use it for sidewalk de-icing. When I want to use the sprayer there, I just retract the reel. You know, obviously the gun is closed, so it's not gonna let fluid out of that. Open this up, and then whenever I turn on my pre-wet in the truck, it'll spray the salt there. So, yeah, got it mounted up. It's a, I forget what brand it is. Tecton. It is a Tecton reel. And it's a model 46875. It says it stays flexible to -40 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 50 foot, 3/8 diameter, 250 working PSI. So I guess if I want to, I can fill car tires with brine. So don't double park me in, and I won't fill your tires with brine. So the pump box is in. I can reach it from out of the bed of the truck. There shouldn't be any real reason to get into it. It's mounted nice and clean. No holes in the top of the box, so no water should get in. If it does draw any moisture, it should run out the bottom. 35-gallon holding tank. This is the gun I bought. And I don't know if it'll be any good or not. I thought I picked up the reducer fitting to plumb this in, but apparently I did not. I grabbed the wrong one. So have to get a reducer fitting. I was a little bit skeptical of how much flow I was going to get out of that 3/8 line, but it's pretty impressive. I mean, that's more than enough for sidewalk de-icing. So it was pretty good. Just pulling some air bubbles out. But yeah, so now that the salt spreader is back in the bed of the truck and I can access the back chute again, I'm gonna go ahead and get the tube for the pre-wet installed and give you another update. Back of the spreader, and I just plugged the end of my line. That's gonna be my pre-wet for the table here. My plan is just to have it spray right here at the edge of the table. So I've plugged this, and for you guys that don't know the hack on this, putting barbs into plumbing like this, use a heat gun. Heat guns make that super easy. Heat it up to the point where it's just getting ready to smoke or discolor a little bit, and then I usually lick the end of the barb, get it wet, dip it in water, whatever, and it usually just slides right in. You don't want to heat it up too much because then it can just kind of smash on you. So the plan is this is going to be the pre-wet tube. I'm going to use this bolt here and that bolt there to mount it across the top. It's going to have holes drilled in it, which is the same exact thing Western does with their pre-wet kit, except their hose is like a black poly. Mine's just a clear braided. So I'm going to get this clamp moved and going to get the holes drilled in it, and probably going to play with that, different sizes, and see which makes my pump cycle less, because I don't want that pump cycling on and off every second. You don't want it jumping rapidly. But so just giving you a little pointer with the barb on that, but it's plugged off. So I bought the wrong size barb. It wasn't my intent to have to put a barb in there. I just wanted to put a plug in there. Bought the wrong size plug because I was just going to put it in there so it was a lot shorter, but I only lost maybe an inch. So not a big deal because it has room over there with this chute. So I'll get that installed and check back. So here we are again. I've got the hose reel plumbed. You can see I've got a T up there. It's going to my hose reel. I wish I could have found a straight adapter where I didn't have to use 3 different parts and I could have used one. but it's whatever. Used a ball valve here, so I can shut this off so I can use this. It also works as a metering valve, because if I open that full bore, the pump is on right now, so it's charged. This line has pressure in it up to here. The hose reel has pressure in it. I just have it pinched off until I get the right bushing to put my gun on. I'll get that probably tomorrow. I've already made two trips to town today, and it's 30 miles each trip, so I'm done making trips for the day. So, yeah, so let me show you guys. I've got the holes drilled in it. I kind of went crazy with the holes, and when I first started spraying, I thought, oh no, I drilled too many holes, but it kind of works perfect. So there is, the hose isn't mounted yet, so it's not sitting perfectly where it's supposed to. But that's just barely cracked open, and I believe that's about how hard Western's kit sprays. But if I open it full bore, I just take a bath, and brine does not taste good. No, not at all. So holes are drilled. I used, let's see, 1/8 inch drill bit. Yeah, 1/8 inch. Probably would have, if I could drill that over again, which I could if I wanted to put a new tube in there. Let's see how many holes I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've got about 20 holes. I probably would have done 15, but it's a real even spray. So I feel like it's going to really get everything nice and wet, which is the purpose of this. My hose is cycling fast, so with it, it's fine. If I have to replace the pump every couple of years, it's fine. It should be okay for as little as it's going to run. So, but yeah, that's all for today. I'm going to finish up the video tomorrow. I'll get this mounted, and I'll get the gun done on the hose reel, and try to find a place to mount it. That way when I'm not using it, I can just stick it in a tube or something. So that's all for now. Okay, so I've got my hose mounted. That's got the holes drilled in it. You can see it just goes through the hole on that side. No real need to put a bracket on that side. Put one bracket on this side, holds it up tight. I did manage to completely shred this finger in the process of drilling the hole in that retainer clip bigger to fit that bolt. Like a 2-inch gash sucks. So that part is done. The only thing I have left to do is put the gun on the hose reel and find a place to mount that. And then I need to fluid film my chain and get all that done for the year. There's a big blob of grease. So, but other than that, this is getting wrapped up. I'm going to go tomorrow by the bushing to get the gun fit, and we'll see you tomorrow. The build is done. Everything's tidied up. I got my hose mounted up in there. Spray's nice. Got the hose reel all done, and as promised, I got the fitting plumbed for the sprayer. Didn't know if I was going to like the sprayer because I didn't know what the spray pattern was going to be on it. So on the gun, you can do like a mist, or you can do a stream. So the Super Jet spray gun works really well. You can spray a long way, but I mean, you know, we're not going to be spraying that far, most likely, unless I'm doing a dock or something. So the hose reel works really well, because then I can just tug on it, pull it back in, and I'm not going to leave it hang there. I'll move this stopper, and I'll mount a channel for the gun to go in or do something. So yeah, it's all wrapped up. Works really nice, and if you have any questions or anything, feel free to comment. But as far as this build, it's done. If you need any part numbers or anything, just leave a comment below, and I'll get it to you.